I think we have covered a whole gamut of the entire design thinking process. Usually, so much of integration is not done in many of these sessions, but we have gone one step ahead and wanted to give you a wholesome experience of design thinking, as opposed to just confining to those 5 steps of design thinking process. So I must thank my collaborators, Mr. Sayantan Mukherjee and Mr. Hemant, for enabling in putting such a very detailed and wholesome program for all of you. And we hope that you have enjoyed this these inputs. We wanted you to continue the journey with whatever you have learned here, and therefore we thought we should have some assignment which normally is not a part of the faculty development programs, and bringing those assignments into an online program is not all that easy. It's a very complex task, we realize. Had this been a physical environment, all of you would have been part of some group or the other, and each one of you would have interacted on going through these processes yourself, and it would have been real fun. But in the online case, this is the best that we could conceive, and we hope that this will help you in deepening your understanding of whatever the concepts that you've learned in the past 4 days. The responses from you have been awesome. I'm really amazed to see how in 3 days you have been able to imbibe these concepts and put them into operation by preparing your first part of the presentation or the assignment. One, the good thing is about the number of assignments that have been submitted. Number two, the quality of submissions are also really impressive. We have received almost about 70 of you have submitted, and some people said they're still working on it, because we understand and appreciate that all of you are working in your regular jobs, and this is in addition to that. And on top of it, if you have to do an assignment like this, it is pretty demanding, and it may not be possible for everyone to do. So we appreciate your difficulties, and we will wait. Whenever you send it, we will definitely look into it, and we'll give you feedback. Number two, within a given time, asking everyone to make a presentation is not easy. It is very difficult. The time available for the part 1 of the presentation is only 75 minutes. And for the part 2 tomorrow, we'll have about 60 minutes. No, not 60, about 90 minutes tomorrow, and today 90 minutes. Totally, altogether, we have about 180 minutes altogether. So today we will spend about 90 minutes making the presentations from each one of you. Will make a presentation of some of the selected people, or selected, not people, the selected assignments have been asked to make this the presentations. And a presentation here basically means that it is not that only these are the best ones and therefore the others are not presenting, or the others are not given the opportunity. Please understand, we are working in the time constraint, and therefore we have taken at random some presentations. We all had a meeting, a very quick meeting in the morning between me, Mr. Sayantan, and Mr. Hemant, and we have decided to accommodate maximum of 15 presentations in the 90 minutes that we have, which means 6 minutes is there for each presentation. And each presenter has been sent a private email as to how the 6 minutes can be utilized. Each one of them is asked to present what is the title of their assignment, what is the problem, issue, or challenge, empathy part of the perspective, the user perspective of the product they're talking about, service or product, then the system analysis, pictorial representation of what they have prepared, and the deep dive salient features, and how might we, if some of them have worked out, and at the end, for about half a minute, we just ask them to summarize in 1 or 2 sentences what they've learned. And I hope these 15 people have been able to apply their mind, crystallize their thinking, sharpen their focus, and ready with what they are going to talk to in the current presentations. So without much ado, I will leave the floor to them. I hope all 15 of you have come prepared, isn't it? I'm hoping. Some of them are not there after the break. I hope they will come back. And if somebody is missing for any reason and in the meet now, we will go to the next person as automatically. So what we have done is, I will present these things, whatever the assignment is submitted by them on the screen, and one by one at random we will pick them up, and then they will make the presentation. If somebody is not there now and they come back again towards the end, we will give the opportunity later on. So is that okay? Have I made the point clear? So if some of you are presenting, it's good, great, but some of you are not presenting. This is not to feel anything bad about it. I think everybody will get a chance probably, but irrespective of the presentations today or not, you will all get an opportunity to listen, hear from us some feedback in the next few days, if not today. Maybe we will start with Madam Anushka Malhotra, if she is there. She can unmute herself, preferably come on. Anyone who is presenting, we would prefer them to come on video, and also keep your audio on and make the presentation for 6 minutes. And I'll keep tab on the time. And if you're exceeding the time, I'll give you a caution after 5 minutes. Yeah, are you there, ma'am, Anushka, madam? I think she has sent a message.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So please go ahead. I'll present your thing. Yeah, ideally you should be on the video so that we can connect to the person also and present it. Yeah, go ahead. You start the conversation. I will present.
Okay, all right, sir. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. And as far as this project is concerned, so this is the really first time that I'm attempting something on design thinking. So I'm sure multiple iterations will fine tune it, but this is the attempt that I've undertaken. So the assignment or the project is on identifying the challenge, the factors that are involved in the ecosystem. And the topic of this assignment is understanding the detergent and the fabric wash. So that is the chosen industry and the product category that I've gone into. So if you could please scroll down, please.
Yeah. Yeah, continue. I will take it.
Yeah. So at this point in time, what I have done is that I have broken down on understanding what is the customer base and what are the customers that the fabric wash or the detergent industry would be looking at. So we're looking at the current customer base bifurcated into two, the individuals and the business. So in terms of individuals, we're looking at people who claim to be environmentally friendly, because at the moment, most of the detergent industries and that entire industry is focusing on environmental sustainability. We're also looking at millennials who are now, being really independent and who are ending up taking their daily chores onto themselves. We're looking at quality conscious and convenience seekers as well, because ultimately we're trying to look at easing out the entire process in terms of whatever we do in our life. And also we're looking at people who are focusing on the basic functionality of removing stains and cleaning your clothes. Then we're also looking at businesses, which is the laundry service, hospitality, and hospitals. So these are basically the B2B sector that an ideal detergent brand would be looking at. We are also focusing on the potential customer base, that would be the buyers of your competing brands who are seeking solution for their additional laundry needs. The situation case here that I've identified is that we're looking at the basic functionality, that is your quick stain removal, you deodorize your foul smell, and then it should remove the dirt and bacteria from the clothes. So that is the basic functionality that any individual would be looking at. So if we go into the design thinking process of problem identification, the first step is that you understand what is the job that needs to be done. So you understand their cycle, what is it that, why would they ultimately hire the product? There are certain explicit and implicit jobs that I've identified that would be done. The explicit job for the user would be, again, removal of stains, foul smell, and maintaining the hygiene and removing the bacteria. That is the basics that you would expect, and that is the reason why you would hire a detergent. And the implicit ones are that you do not have the need to separate the white and your colored clothes. That is something that you actually have to do, but that is something that they would want to avoid to ease out the process. The clothes should smell good. You should look fresh and confident. There should be no wrinkles. Comfort of new clothes, and ultimately they want to spend less time into the laundry because they would want to prioritize other tasks as well. The next step is to identify and analyze the system. So now the system identified here is the detergent or your fabric wash, which is the product. The subsystem would be your liquid or the powder that is being used. That includes the ingredients as well that the liquid and the powder is made up of. The packaging, which is across the different SKUs. And I've taken the container and the nozzle cap as the subsystem. Now there are 9 super systems that I've identified. One is the washing machine, the scoop with which you scoop out the powder or the liquid, the clothes itself, the user, the dryer, the laundrette infrastructure, just in case if you're visiting an on-demand service, or the laundrette infrastructure in case of B2B, the B2B industry, labor and the staff at the laundrette, the water and the power voltage. Below is step 3, wherein you identify the interactions by building an identification matrix. And the matrix below, I have identified how much of an interaction happens across the different super systems and the subsystems. There is a case when you see the user and the laundrette infrastructure. The reason why I've added a positive and a negative sign to it is that there are certain cases wherein an individual visits the laundrette infrastructure to deliver the products or deliver their clothes directly, or there are laundrette apps as well, wherein on-demand apps wherein you just book in an appointment or ask someone to collect it, and then they do not really have to go to the laundrette infrastructure. So that is something that I've accounted for within the identification matrix. Sorry, the interaction matrix. Moving on is the function model. Since there are a lot of super systems and subsystems, it obviously looks a little intricate, but it is pretty basic. If I speak of a few examples, user in this case, yes, will actually be interacting with most of the super system, most of the other subsystems and super systems. And the container, and so there is a lot of interaction that is happening at the moment. What I have identified as a problem statement, so there are some that are green arrows, for example, the power voltage. So the power voltage ends up giving sufficient power to run machines and to run dryers. Of course, we're assuming that we are looking at a geographical area that does not face much electricity power shortages. The areas that I have looked at in terms of the problems that need to be identified are user in case of the products which reacts much on the skin. And also you have contact with clothes wherein you dump the clothes directly into the washing machine. And there are chances that the individual may have to visit the laundrette because he or she may not have the time to undertake the laundry task. So that is something that I have identified as a problem. If we look at the deep dive, we're looking at first thing that the laundry reacts on sensitive skin. The customers tend to do their laundry manually. Many households may not have the resources, that is the physical space or the time in order to undertake the laundry. Students living in their hostels may or may not have access to their laundry services or the laundrette that are available at the hostels. Hard water also tends to react on sensitive skin, and you may have access to on-demand laundry. although that may be time consuming and it can also be expensive. Not many people resort to on-demand laundry services. The second is access to laundry service. Doing laundry manually is time consuming. Related laundry activities such as washing, dry and ironing is also time consuming. So if you could scroll down, please. And also the last is the access to on-demand laundry may be time-consuming, expensive and difficult, and it may also be the case where within your vicinity and proximity you might not even have access to the laundry service. So the problem statement identified is how might we eliminate human contact to avoid the reactions on sensitive skin with the washing liquid and powder, and reduce the overall time or the effort exerted to accomplish all laundry related tasks. So we're not just looking at washing clothes, but we're also looking at all the related laundry tasks in terms of ironing, drying, etc. So that's my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I think we are going to give you a debrief after all the presentations are over. And similarly, each one of you can make some noting of points. If you have anything to be asked subsequently, let the flow be continued. We will have sufficient time for discussion at the end. Okay, thank you. And the second person I would request to present is Dr. Suvendu Das. Dr. Suvendu Das.
Yeah, am I visible and audible to all of you?
Yes, yes.
So good evening, and at the outset, I must thank Professor Bhaskar Rao, Sayantan, and Hemant for having driven and charted this course in an extremely fantastic way. And I'm being from the corporate world for the last 37 years and now into consulting and training. So, and that too, I have picked up this case because I was in, it's a real case where I was heading MEL Chandrapur during 2005 to 2008. And MEL, you know, is a subsidiary of SAIL, which is in the business of producing manganese-based ferroalloys, which is an input material for making steel in the integrated steel plants. And it has a capacity of 1 lakh tons per year, ferromanganese, and there are various other products. So going by the nature of the operations of the company, most of the unloading of manganese ore, which comes from the iron ore mines in Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra area. Apart from that, when the ferromanganese is produced, it is dumped in the dump yard, and the manual operations are totally being handled by the contract labor, which was around 1,000 in number. The job was given to the contractors, but the problem is, for a lot of time, the contractors, though who were used for breaking, sizing, sorting, and loading of ferroalloys into railway wagons, so they used to disrupt the operations frequently, which affected the production, productivity, and profitability of the company. And because of these and various other technological factors and economic factors, the company had become sick, it went red, and it went under the BIFR, which is the Bureau of Industrial Finance and Reconstructions. And timely non-supply of all these things to the steel plant affected the production. So the industry, I mean, when I took over in 2005, the CEO of the company, he gave me this problem that how to minimize the labor unrest to zero man hours loss, and how to have a peaceful and harmonious industrial relations in the company so that there is no problem at all. So when I went into the issues and talked to the various stakeholders, the past trends, the systems, the legal processes, everything, so I found that it was really a complex case, having a lot of dynamics, lot of parameters. So what I tried to do here, I have just I was amazed that this learning for the past 3 days had helped me to present before you in a very systematic manner in terms of design thinking, what we had done without having knowledge of design thinking at that point of time. So the first feature is the legal framework. As you may be aware, in Maharashtra, there is a special Bombay Industrial Relations Act, which is not applicable anywhere in the country. And pan-India, the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 is applicable. And besides that, the Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act 1971 was also applicable in India. The stakeholders in this issue are the contract laborers themselves, their supervisors, the contractors. There are a lot of unions and the union leaders. Management of MEL was suffering a lot. Local political leaders like the MLAs and MPs who belong to different trade unions, they had a lot of influence, and there were many opinion makers who played an important role. The system of wage payment was on a monthly basis, but it was paid in cash to the contract labor by the supervisors. And the incentive system also was added to the main fixed component of the wages. Union dynamics was very complex. There was inter and intra-union rivalry. They have various affiliation to different political parties, mainly the Congress and the BJP. The officers or executive association, they had an inclination to the BJP MP, and they also played a role in this complicated dynamics of the trade unions. My CEO gave me a target that, Suvendu, please try to resolve this issue within 1 year's time. So the time was running out to use all these things. So as a result, I discussed with all the stakeholders, then considered the different aspects, and the interaction matrix is based on those different aspects. Here I have taken a limited number of issues, but in practical, there are a lot of issues, and because of the paucity of time, I could not accommodate them. And since there was a deadline, I could take up some of the salient features point over here, and the positive plus signs are those which contributed to the positive development of the systems and in the search for solutions. And most of the blank things, you can take it as a minus or the negative thing. Coming to the interaction of the system and subsystem in this picture, as you can see, again, I have taken limited numbers because of the paucity of time. Here you can see the law played a great role in managing the company and also the contractors based on the Contract Labor Act. Since the company was under BIFR, so most of the financial decisions, company did not have the autonomy to take decisions. As a result, most of the wage negotiations, wage settlements, and many of the financial decisions had to go to the government for clearances. As a result, for the last 12 years, there was no wage revision for the contract labor. And there were some issues where the state government and the central government were monitoring. So we had to shuttle between both of them. Within the HR team also, there was a lot of factions. I had to handle both of them within my own team also. They were affiliated to different trade unions. And trade union leaders also had their own system of recognition, the majority and minority, and the contract labor, one of the most issue was in a debt trap. So how to take them out of the debt trap? Because that was a subsystem of taking loans from the supervisors who were paying the wages on a monthly basis. And at that time of payment, they were unofficially taking the money, including the interest, and they were virtually under their grip. Politicians, they had their shares, they were playing the game. So it took a lot of time to manage the situation and nullify. So to bring down the problem statement, that what we need to do is that how to bring this contract labor out from the debt trap, how to ensure that the money directly goes to the bank account, which was unthinkable at that point of time, and also how to have direct contact with the contract laborers, bypassing or rather involving the contractor and the trade unions the politicians and the labor authorities, so that the entire issue of IR imbalance was to be sorted out. So there were a lot of issues for deep driving. So like this labor authorities, there were two aspects, state and central. I had to balance between the team. Lot of issues that how to take them out from the debt trap. So a lot of things. Because of the time constraint, I cannot explain. So ultimately, the problem statement is that how to resolve this issue. And my learning from this phase one is I am going to develop a case study on this from the what I would say from DT point of view, and I'm going to do that. Subsequently, if it is published, then I'm going to share with all of you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. And the third one we will take is Professor Chetana Krishna. If she is there, she can come in. Professor Chetana Krishna. Madam, are you there? Okay, if she is not there, we will go to Dr. Padmanabhan. Dr.
Yes, sir.
Padmanabhan?
Yes, sir. I am here.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Kindly be brief. We have to give a chance to everyone.
Yeah, sure, sir. So first of all, once again, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to present. This actually happened as a weird thought in my mind when I had a discussion with one of my colleagues in between my gap, in my brief gap which we get during the break, which we did during the design thinking FDP. So this was about when you look into the slums and all. It was a thought which came why the slum dwellers are not actually interested in even if the government is giving it. Government is giving it, and it's a normal thing is that majority of them are not interested in actually moving to that new apartments or something which are being given. So this is what actually been the thought process which came to us. So, and it's obviously an opportunity for any marketing. Since I am a marketing man, I thought in that perspective. So I have to sell it. This is an opportunity. If you have a builder, how can the builder sell affordable homes to the slum dwellers? So if you just look into the nutshell, why this came is that on an analysis, there is a research somewhere I read which shows that the family income, maybe if you just take into the individual income of the slum dwellers, it may not be affordable, but the family income probably is affordable. So in that sense, how can we sell affordable? The job to be done is to sell affordable homes to the slum dwellers. So when you just look into that, the system is, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. So I'm just divided the system, subsystem and supersystem like this. An apartment or house is what actually the subsystem or system is. And the supersystem of the buyer, builder, infrastructure. Infrastructure means the connectivity, all electricity or maybe road, railroad, all this connectivity I put together as infrastructure here. Price, cost, buyer behavior pattern. And when you look into the interaction metrics over here, it is again apartment have got something. This is what the plus and minus. I think it can be better explained when you go to that figure. Yeah, this is how it is. So if you just look into this, the buyer is actually buying it, and in fact, the seller creates it. And the one gap which I found this is what my thought process is that this is what the problem here, maybe as a seller you might be having, is that you are not able to convert the consumer behavior. So what it may be something you have to do is to modify the consumer behavior in a seller's perspective. And if you just do an empathy mapping, again, in some sort of empathy mapping, this is what it is. They are not interested in going into this, so they have something in the mind. So when we go next to that is a deep diving. When you deep dive, this is what slum dwellers are not buying or moving to the apartments. So I have just come out, the basic problem here is basic behavior is to live in chaos, and they don't want to actually shift from the particular locality which they are having. And so if you just look into the problem statement, or ultimately what it is, how to convince the slum dwellers and modify their consumer behavior to make them buy the apartments. So this is how the problem which I felt it is. This is what actually a rough work, I think. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Hope I am on
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, I think Professor Chetana Krishna is there and she wants to come in. Yes, madam. You have to unmute, ma'am.
I think madam is having some problem in the mic, so she said she will come next.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go for the next presentation. Then we'll go for Dr. Neetu Singh. Dr. Neetu Singh, are you there?
Yeah, sir. Good evening, sir. This is
Yeah,
Dr.
please.
Neetu. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, first of all, I will be very thankful to you that you have given me this opportunity. And this was the first time that this assignment has given such an opportunity, and we were so interested in doing it, but because of the lack of time, there was some which definitely wanted to add something more, but because of the time, I was not able. Let me come quickly to the topic which I have selected for my assignment. This is the problem identification. The company which I have, or the industry which I have taken, is of electronic appliances, which is making electric kettle or all the electric appliances related to kitchen or something like the induction type of electronic goods. So the problem related to this is that most of us are now in a working phase, and also traveling, and the season, it also depends upon the season that we are in. Especially in my side, we are living in a winter season. So the problem which the company is finding, that sales are not increasing because the electric kettle or so many innovations are being going, and flask and something like this, these type of equipments are also being made. But the problem which company found was that the hot water or tea or coffee is very essential while going outside, or people who need it, but they are not able to carry it, or it becomes very clumsy if they take the flask or something like that with them, or kettle with them. And the major problem which I found was that we are having the electric kettle, but after heating water or coffee or any such beverages, it is not possible that it can be stored for a long time in that kettle. And flask also, it cannot remain fresh. So the company is trying to find out what could be the design for some kind of equipment which can be brought. So the main problem was that kettle, we cannot take kettle at every place, or we can not store water, tea or coffee beverages for long time in a flask. So what the user wants, basically the user wants that during travel or something like that, tea, coffee or water could be carried, but flask is again a clumsy thing, and kettle cannot be held. So they want some kind of equipment which can be readily or quickly be available to them, and they can have it at their working place or office, or when they are traveling in car or something like that. So I found subsystem, which quickly I have found that subsystem is electric kettle, electric pod, on-off switchboards, super system, water, tea, coffee, electricity, flask, glass. Maybe some maybe I have made some mistakes, or it can be, please pardon me. Glass, must, kitchen, car, office. So these are some of the interaction system and subsystem parts of this problem. So I have drawn an interaction matrix over here. The plus sign shows how the matrix has been showing interaction between system and subsystem. The problem related in this, we can see that user is interacting with many things. For example, electric kettle, cord, switchboard, which we do not find at every place, or it's very clumsy, and we cannot get at every place. We cannot find switchboard. Or electricity is another, again, a problem. Fluctuation is another, again, a problem. Carrying the flask or the flask as well as electric kettle is again a problem. And the need for coffee, tea, as well as these kind of things has become essential. And from the working place, we cannot get outside every time and get these beverages. So the pictorial representation which I have shown over here is, we can see that the switchboard, electric kettle, as well as the cord, electric kettle cord, this cannot be carried and the kettle cannot work without it. So this is again one thing. In kitchen we can use it, but taking again to the workplace, we are working for 4 or 10 hours, more than that. Suppose at particular this moment also I wanted some hot coffee, so I have to get out, but it definitely will distract my working. So so there can be some deep dive which I have given over here. Hot water or beverages is essential while working. Maybe people think on it, or anything which we are finding while working. User interacts with office, kitchen, car for work and traveling, but faces a problem not getting hot water or hot beverages at office or during traveling. It becomes clumsy, which I have already explained. Cars cannot keep the beverages or water hot for long hours. It can, at the size is again a problem. A smaller one or larger one, it also depends upon the hours, how much hour we are working. Electricity is again another problem, fluctuation of power, and every time, suppose at what voltage and how much watt the kettle or anything is taking is another problem. Carrying glasses or mugs as well, which I have shown in the pictorial representation, and my subsystem and subsystem also. Interacting or carrying these mugs or something will again become a problem. Could not found switch or board during traveling at the right place in the office. So there are some deep dive on what problems a person is having while carrying either the flask or the kettle, or getting the kettle or the switchboard. So how might we can solve the problem? The challenge is to make an equipment which can immediately give the user a hot water or beverages in office or during traveling, which he or he can carry easily. So this is the deep dive, which later on I'm going to make again a design thinking based on Sayantan sir, who has explained about the create on divergent thinking and convergent thinking. And again I will go on adapting, combining, modifying, and these all things. And we can see that whether we can modify it or put something, another use of this, or we can change or combine both kettle and flask. This will be coming in my phase 2 assignment. So this was all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And
thank you, sir.
Yeah. Madam, are you ready? Chetana, madam?
Yes, sir. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead. Start.
Okay. So mine is a real case problem, sir. I am into training and development, and I conduct workshops for industry employees. So every time we do a customized training program, we have been doing this since 2016, especially for this industry, which is a paper industry. I cannot mention the name of the industry because it has to be kept confidential. And I have to do this assignment, that is agribusiness marketing skills, to be imparted to plantation managers. This is my latest assignment which I have got, and this is going to happen in January, the last week of January. So they have asked me for improve their productivity. Now first we should understand what is the job of the plantation manager. That is the problem analysis. So what we did was, me and another faculty from IBS, we went to officers from the paper company and visited the farmers there. We visited the farmers in Telangana, 2 to 3 places. I can name the places. It was Warangal, Khammam were the 2 places where we met farmers to understand what was the problem, why are they not growing the particular plant, that is eucalyptus and subabul. which are the plants that are required for this paper industry, which acts as a raw material. So then we found out there were some intrinsic and extrinsic problems. The farmers prior to the irrigation facility, now Telangana has got a lot of irrigation facilities. So since irrigation has improved, they want to grow short-term crops, which gives them much yield and also greater income. Earlier, since the irrigation was less, so they would grow this eucalyptus and subabul, which does not require that much of water. So now the problem has become, since the irrigation has improved, then what to do? So the plantation managers are finding it difficult to convert farmers to grow into this. So the task given to us was to understand what the problems the plantation managers are facing. Why are they not able to convince the farmers? So one was that. The second was to identify the target farmer. Because some of the farmers, in India, we have this problem that if a father has 3 sons, he divides the farm into smaller plots. So that was the major problem which we found. Some farmers had just 4 acres of land, and some farmers who have 10 acres and more were able to do this both farming. That is the regular farming, and also with that, there's subabul and eucalyptus. So then we identified the problem, and then we designed a module. So the subsystems here is to design a module for the plantation managers. The content need not be theory, because by theory they won't learn anything. It has to be hands-on experience. Then the customized activities has to be designed. There has to be an assignment. There has to be a feedback and evaluation. So the physical infrastructure, the company has decided to give the training room and all other things which come as the physical infrastructure. So I have designed this. The module design has been done. It has also been vetted by the GMHR, that is the learning and development, and the plantation head. The activities have also been designed. We have assignment and feedback. So plus and minuses, I think I am right. But when I compared with the FDP module, there were a little differences, because activities is dependent on the content for me. Activities are also dependent on assignment, because we give them feedback on the assignment. So some plus and minuses are different from what you gave us as an example. Now, if I go into deep dive, I have not prepared the deep dive matrix because I submitted it early yesterday. According to deep dive, first thing is the plantation manager has to identify who the target farmer is. One more thing is the farmers are not easy to convince, because they only believe when other farmers convince them. So there is more of testimonials. Third thing, there is a labor shortage. So this requires some labor. So that is why plantation not observed. Now this is the only training part which I have given. So I am not concerned with plantation, what they are growing. Our program is only to train the plantation managers how they will use their marketing skills to convert the number of farmers, the target number of farmers in a particular time period. So for me, this matrix only consists of my training program, not about the plantation. So when I went deep diving into the problem, then I understood there is a gap in communication. The problem was the prices varied. Now the plantation manager gives them some say some price that they would get at the end of 4 years. So the harvesting period for the eucalyptus is 4 years or 6 years. So they have to wait for 4 years, and only then they will get some kind of an income. So how will they convince? How is the price negotiated? How is the harvesting done? What is the support given by the company with respect to sampling, with respect to fertilizers? So all this had to be communicated to the farmers. So I have designed a module. If it is possible, I can show it, but if it is not possible, I can send it to you as an attachment, sir. You can look into it and give me some suggestions. So we have, first thing is the plantation managers do not want to open up in front of us because we are external people. So we decided on a design of first an ice-breaking session where they open up to us. Then we try to understand their responsibilities and the work that they do on a day-to-day basis. And then we have designed some role plays because it is activity driven. So it is between 2 plantation managers or a plantation manager and a farmer. And we also suggested that they show data to the farmers, how the demand and supply works in the market, and also the price fluctuation, why does it happen, and the price at which the company pays to them, how is the harvesting done. So all these we are making them do through presentation skills and also asking them to show them through data. So this is the module design that we have prepared for them. They also asked us to give us a little bit input on how they have to talk to their superiors. These are a little bit of communication, like email etiquette and superiors, how do they talk to. So we are giving a little bit of inputs on that. So this is the module design that we have prepared as of now. If you can give us more inputs, we will try to incorporate it in our training program.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we will go to Mr. Jaya Jeevahan.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. First of all, I thank everyone for this wonderful opportunity. The title I have made is the kitchen vessel cleaning assistant. In fact, I'm very new to design thinking. This is my second FDP in design thinking project. I haven't done any prior work earlier. So this is taken like randomly as an example. So here I identified a problem for a household use. The problem statement is make a cheap vessel cleaning machine for a middle class family sector. So usually the vessel cleaning machine, usually the dishwasher is costing high. It is mainly used in hotels and it's used in high class people. So I want to bring it to let's say a middle class family. This is my initial problem statement, and then definition of the problem. In fact, I didn't write straight away. I have written whatever the housewife or the homemaker generally feels. Okay, so it's about, it takes more time when they see vessels, they feel very stressed, and usually the vessels are dumped for a long time, and they have to clean all at once. So they find little time for their own work. So I thought, okay, we'll try to make a machine so that it does all the work, so they can do other activities. So in the system analysis, we found systems and subsystems. In systems, subsystems, mainly the vessel. In fact, I used hand as a separate subsystem because it is also directly involved in vessel cleaning. Though user, it can be a family member or wife, housewife can clean. I made it as a separate subsystem. Apart from that, soap, brush, water, these are involved in the subsystem. And the super systems include the cleaner who cleans it, maybe the housewife or a maid. Then food eater, a family member, anyone. Then post-clean utensils container. Usually we keep the vessels after cleaning in a basket. That's that. And a sink where we usually dump the used utensils. And infrastructure like water line, power line in the case of electronic device. In this case, only water line in general one. And apron, dirt may or water may splash on it. Then I have prepared the interaction matrix. Later, the pictorial representation of the interactions. Here I have added all. In fact, I have added one more, which is a dustbin, because the dirt should be taken and it should be put in dustbin, but it was not mentioned in interaction matrix. So here, I have mentioned how each system interacts with each other, and I didn't do deep dive analysis. Rather, I used it for breakdown and idea generation, where I used deep dive analysis, so that I checked how the arrows are going. For example, Sing has many number of incoming arrows. So this is one of the most essential component to be considered. Likewise, soap, then brush, water, infrastructure. These are also having more inward arrows. So like I try to make a combined a design where all these are accommodated. As I said, I try to find a concept. And according to like user research or empathy from different people, I made how might be statement as follows: how might we make an affordable, energy efficient, compact kitchen vessel cleaning machine that can pick, clean, and place any kind, meaning any size of household kitchen vessels without for sorting or time. I mean, more time consumption. So this is my how might be statement. And that I mean, at the outset, it was a good learning experience. I initially, I have learned how how important the empathy plays a vital role in deciding the problem statement. For example, if I didn't think of, or I didn't go through all these steps, I might have ended with finding cheap materials for making cheap or low cost machine, or I could have ended up making a small sized dishwasher suitable for a homemaker. But now, it has been. I mean, the scope is expanded, and the same vessel, if it is built, may even be used for a wide range of people. I think so. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next, we'll go to Mr. Rahul Deshpande. Mr. Rahul Deshpande. Okay, may not be there. If he's not there, we'll go to Mr. Mahavir Bhattacharya. Mr. Mahavir Bhattacharya. Not there. Prafullanath. Mr. Prafullanath.
Yes, sir, I am there.
Yeah, you're there? Okay. So go ahead, Prafullanath. Yeah.
Sir, my presentation.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll present it. You go ahead. I'll present it. You go ahead.
Sir, my title of this project is I am suggesting an online PGP program in management looking through the design thinking lenses.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So it is a very timely thing that during the pandemic across the globe, even in India, many management institutions are managing their courses through online. But earlier there is a thing, in particular in India, people do not been job companies, and they do not love to hire candidates having online degrees. Now, what can be the problem of this online mode of PGP in management programs? Firstly, I think these are the basically distantly run programs. So distance is the main problem. So many technical glitches arise, and sometimes imparting education through online mode doesn't percolate exactly among the audiences or those who pay for this. And there is also a doubt among them how it will pay up in the job market. So these are the issues I want to club. Nowadays, educational institutes that provide online programs can think about it. Now, there is a big empathy issue over here. What I'm telling, yes, management institutions giving online programs, but have ever we have thought how the students deriving utility out of? Have you ever put our feet on their shoes? So this empathy element must be taken into consideration. Now, on the basis of this, I have decided some system and subsystem online PGP program. I have taken as a system, and there are several subsystems. All the internet systems, professors, curriculums, and course materials. And after all, the most important part of is the placement, and also peer learning. In regular mode of learning, peer learning is the most important aspect, in particular in management institutions. Due to pressure, time constraint, peer learning comes very handy. But in online mode of teaching, this kind of facility is not there. So what I have done, given plus and negative signs in my matrix, interaction matrix, I wanted to just calculate what dimension contribute how much to entire problem. Then, as I have mentioned, that some technical course material, curriculum, placement, these gates are highest priority, whereas other things like family location and distance from the whenever someone placed in some distant location, getting connection properly is problem. So many a time they face these technical glitches. So I have also introduced this in our model. Now coming further, I have also presented in a diagram. Now the deep dive model that I have formulated over here, I have not placed that simple graph that Mr. Mukherjee suggested to give because it took some more time. I could not do it at that time, but I can do it. But what I find, there are some subsystems that are not well connected with others. So in this connection, what I say, online PGP mode of management program should be looked into from placement perspective, so that the empathy element can play a role over here. All the, even now, elite institutes like IITs, IIMs are doing this. But earlier in the industry, there is a perception those who do not have degrees, regular mode of degrees, they do not get justice. So then I will look further into the program, into the assignment in my next section. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Prafulla. Now we'll go to Mr. Deshpande.
Hello, good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah. Please go ahead and present.
Okay, yeah. So I've been convinced in the last 9 months that technology fails exactly when you want it. So sorry about that. I had to log out and log back in again. Okay, so let me just start with my topic. I wish I had done this course 10 years ago because the problem that I'm trying to solve, and it instantly struck me when we were going through this course that I could have really saved a lot of time and productivity for my ex-employer. I was a product manager and I've worked with a lot of telecom companies. In the days when the telecom wars were at its fiercest. This is between 2005 to 2015. We were about 14, 15 operators in the market, and it was a complete tariff war, especially in the prepaid segment. And as part of the product management team, we used to launch more than 150 different products in a given year. Right now, when I say products here, you might be surprised. 150 different products. It basically means 150 different tariff plans, 150 different vouchers, prepaid, top-up plans, and things like that. The entire genesis for this activity was a lot of data analysis that we used to do, our understanding of market behavior. But most importantly, as I've mentioned, it used to be, how much gray hair you have, how much gray hair does your boss have. And that is how products used to get decided. And we used to call them as big bang products, although we used to struggle to really find the bang, right? We used to spend a lot of money in the advertising and the media space, along with the channel, which is our retailers as well. But the success rate, the problem statement we used to always have is our success rate of our new products was very low. It was poor. It was abysmal. And it really impacted the entire productivity and profitability of all the telecom organizations, and not just talking about the one that I work for, right? And therefore, the burning question that we had was, how do we maximize the uptake of our new products without losing time and market share? It's important in those days, if you were to launch a product, competition would replicate that product immediately within a couple of days. That's how product management speed and efficacy was. So I did the system analysis. If you look at the subsystem here, what are we talking about? We're talking about a prepaid product, which could basically have a combination of talk time, tariffs, or the call rate. It used to have validity back then, which essentially formed the product. This product was available in a paper format as well as an electronic format. This may be a little redundant now because we only have electronic option now to recharge. But like I said, I'm relating it to an old problem, which I wish I had taken this course then. There were a lot of government regulations which we had to sort of work around when we launched these products. And then, of course, to make things really miserable for us, we had our internal finance and internal IT teams, used to be more of a stumble than as a support system. If you look at the super system, of course, at the center of everything was the customer, the end user of the product. Then we had the retailer, our channel partner, who used to be the facilitator for the organization, for the company, but more importantly, an influencer of the product for the customer, because the customer used to rely on the retailer for recommendations of the product, because there were more than 14, 15 telecom operators out there. It was really very chaotic. And then we used to rely heavily on the advertising and communication, as you would have seen during the 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 IPL. Vodafone, Airtel used to be the biggest advertisers in all those seasons of IPL. That used to be their biggest platform in a given year. And finally, product availability, given the challenges of infrastructure or the lack of it in some of our remote, rural, urban, as well as some of the urban areas, the availability of product is to be challenged. So what I did was the interaction matrix, and this was very interesting. I had done the design thinking course from Coursera, which is from Darden School, Virginia, and Professor Jean Litka has taken that, but they don't cover this interaction matrix. And I really wish I knew this interaction matrix 10 years ago. And the way I did it last night, there was huge paucity of time because I was already late for the assignment submission. But this was an eye opener for me when I mapped the entire interaction matrix, where I mapped all the products of the subsystem as well as the super system, and then I developed the functional model. What I realized was that the key element, or the most crucial component, or the weakest link of this whole thing was actually the retailer, who could of course logistics was one part of it, but the retailer was the one who could make or break our products, who could win our products for us, because they are the ones who are interacting with the customer. They are the ones who are interacting with the product. They are the ones who sell the vouchers as well, and more or less they used to be sort of controlling their own logistics as well. I realize now that if we had focused really on the retailers in terms of our product launches and our product promotions, that would have really helped us at that point in time, and probably we would have had more product success then, right? So therefore, the deep dive, as I mentioned, was two critical elements: the retailer and the logistics part of it. And I now believe that if we were to win the retailer, the chances of making the product successful would have significantly improved. Therefore, my how might we question therefore was how might we win the retailers in our favor so that they promote our products more than what they would promote for competition. So that's my assignment. Thank you for giving me the time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rahul. Yeah, then can we have Mr.
Rahul?
Mr. Manikandan?
Yes.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Mr. Manikandan.
Yes, sir, I'm here. I'm in.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Manikandan. I'm working with Mr. Rahul also in the same campus from NMIMS University, Navi Mumbai. Basically, I'm from the hospitality industry, but for the past 25 years, I'm in the hospitality industry. Even though we currently teach management, my passion is still cooking, and that's where I started with the Taj and Oberoi's and Marriott's. So it has always been my passion. But one thing seems to be a problem all this while. In the commercial kitchens, we used to grate coconuts. Mostly men will be doing the job, and we used to grate 200, 300 coconuts also using commercial machines. But when it comes to domestic purpose, it is still a problem. Why it is still a problem? Because we don't have the ideal coconut grater. In the commercial setup, there are huge motor-based graters which men can handle. But at home, traditional housewives are using manual equipment where it is very hard, lot of stamina required and time consumed to grate a coconut or to remove it from the shell. Even while removing from the shell, many accidents happen and people get injured. So this was my problem. The title was the ideal coconut grater, and the problem issue is the coconut should be easily removed from the shell as well as it should be easily grated. So why coconut? Because most in South Indian cuisine and South Asian cuisine, it is a major ingredient. But with more and more women coming into workforce, it is becoming a time-consuming process, and people are trying to avoid coconut. But coconut has a lot of health benefits. So that is my problem statement. Empathy is modern housewives finding it time-consuming and feeling it difficult because they are more into now white-collar jobs. So their hands are not as good as our moms, I should say. So they are finding it difficult to pull it out of the shell and also grate it. So during my system analysis, I found out that the super system is the catering industry, the household, mostly the households basically I am focusing on. Catering industry have heavy machines, but even if women have to enter the kitchen department, then there also they will be facing this problem. The system is the coconut itself, the shell versus kernel, that's what I call. How to pull out the kernel from the shell. The subsystem is, there are many subsystems, but I had mentioned few. Manual grater, machine grater, the housewives, they all interact with each other, cooks, knife, and other coconut removing machines. When I tried this matrix, I had blackened out the center ones, and there were a lot of minuses and there were a lot of pluses also. So I couldn't go into detailed factors of interaction matrix. I had put some major major things here. So through this matrix, what I found is that mostly I went on the internet also before doing this project to see what housewives do shortcut. And they're doing some shortcuts like heating the coconut, after breaking, putting it in a water bed and heating it. After heating it, the kernel comes out. Or they are freezing it in the freezer and the kernel comes out. All this takes time, and it also changes the taste. Basically, I'm a chef, so I can guarantee you that if coconut is heated, then used, and coconut is highly perishable. Bacteria can grow very fast. So all this is creating a problem for them. This is what we found out in the matrix. And in the matrix, what I found out is who interacts with who and what interacts with what. That's what we found out. Then we go down to the pictorial representation. So you see the housewife interacts with the hand grater, which is many times slippery and sometimes not very effective, and time consuming and very tedious. And stamina is also required. Again, coconut also, the system also interacts with the. Actually, I have to do more work here, I admit it. But due to the time constraint, especially in this area, it was almost 11:30 when I completed it. So, and I couldn't go further deep. But the picture and the arrows would represent that they are communicating to each other. Further, when I did deep diving, I found that accidents is a major problem. People get scratches in hands and all this. Every time my wife wants to grate coconut, she calls me, so I go and help there. But then I said, since I am from the industry, why not get her a machine which we use in the commercial? So I went into the market where I usually buy equipments for the hotel industry, and I found the smallest one. But it was, I asked them to give a demo, but it was not very efficient, same vibration. And both mom and wife would be facing that, if they are facing that vibration, I'm sure they will drop the coconut and put the hand instead of the coconut. So again, I found it as still a problem, so I didn't buy that machine. But all this came into my deep diving thinking. The time consuming, the strength in hand required, either they should wear a protective gloves. All this is very tedious for a silly coconut. That's what women think, and they don't add it much in the food nowadays. And also other shortcut methods of heating the coconut is spoiling the taste. But there is one thing which is very intriguing, is freezing the coconut. When you freeze food, basically the nutrient is not lost. Mostly even taste is not lost. Only in some ingredients like fish and all you lose the texture, but in coconut it is not. So I am thinking of how to solve the problem. I am thinking of either inventing a machine with instant freeze, where you break the coconut and you keep it inside and freeze it instantly by nitrogen or something, so that it leaves the kernel and the kernel leaves the shell, or heating the outer shell so that the kernel comes out. But even after that, grating would be a problem, because when you remove the kernel from the shell, when you cut it into pieces and put it in a mixer grinder or something, it is not as floury as you grate it in hand. So you still need a grater. But I found out one more thing. If you freeze the coconut and chop it, if you chop into smaller pieces, freeze it, then blend it in a mixer grinder, it gives that floury texture. So I see a lot of relationship. The solution is moving towards freezing the coconut. So by freezing, the kernel also comes out, and the other paste also can be merged. So my learning from this is, in collaboration with a proper engineer, I am sure without much of losing stamina and time, these coconuts can be frozen and be taken out, and we can invent something which is very quick and handy and small. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, next, Mr. Danish. Mr. Danish, are you there? If he's not there, we'll go on to Mr. Goodwin. Dr. Goodwin? Dr. Goodwin? Not there. Okay. Dr. Swati Mathur? Dr. Swati Mathur?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So, thank you, sir, giving an opportunity to present today a wonderful workshop. And can you go to the first slide, sir? Sir, can you go to the first slide? Yeah. So the assignment today was to present using design thinking to increase gender diversity in workplaces. And this was a carefully thought of thing, because how can we increase gender diversity in workplace? So the next one. So why are we having? So to increase gender diversity in workplace, to design thinking, and we all know that there are gender inequalities, and they are very deep rooted in the society. So women suffer from lack of access to decent work, occupational segregation, gender wage gaps. So all this, and we also know that they are denied basic education, healthcare, and victims of violence and discrimination. So they are always underrepresented in political and economic decision-making process, especially in the middle and top level management roles. So we see that though we are 50% women in 50% of the women are there, but most of them are not able to reach their higher positions or to their optimal potential. It is not only in India, but if you see all over the globe, even in the Western countries. So the problem here we have chosen is to examine why do we have lesser women at workplace. Next one, sir. So why do we have the less? So to define the job the user of the industry wants. So that's for the objectives of the study are so achieve gender equality and empower women at workplace, to increase gender diversity in workplace, to have more women in top leadership positions, and it is not I, sir, it is the glass ceiling, to break the glass ceiling at workplace at all levels of management and decision making process. Next one. So in this, what are the subsystems which we have identified, which are related to insight, are the individual mindset, the mindset of the woman itself, the peer group pressure, the social norms which are existing, the family mindset, because the family itself will not allow them to think the way they have to, and the society at large, and the culture of the place. So the super systems here are, we have identified what the government is trying to do, that is reservation for in education institutions, in government workplaces, and government initiatives like Beti Padhao, and work from home option, flexible time at workforce, at workplace, diversity hiring strategies, compulsory creches. So all these are the super systems which they are interacting with. The government is trying and the corporates are trying to incorporate in the workplace so that they have women in workplace, but still that is not possible. So we have seen the interaction matrix with all of them over here with the subsystem and the super system, and I have simplified it into a fewer ones because this is not manageable by me in this short time. So the next one, sir. So in this, we have come down to a small number of variables over here. That is the mindset, social norms, family, society, culture, work from home, and flexi time. And we saw that the interactions with each other, and we saw that though we are trying to give them flexi time, though there is so much, but still flexi time is not interacting with the social norms and with the society and with the culture. Because so therefore the next step after deep diving to this, we have come up with we have seen the functional impacts of all of them in this over here. We can see how each one leverages each other, and we have come to an understanding that it is not the social factors, but it is the individual mindset which needs to change. There lies the problem. So if you come to the next slide, we have deep dive. Come to the next slide, sir. So in this deep dive, I've done a deep dive analysis for this gender diversity, and we have seen that here there are three sets which we are looking at. One is the tool set, the other one is the skill set, and the third one is the mindset. So the tool set, we are saying that these are all external factors like your government policies, your corporate policies, and your awareness and all these things. Not much awareness is created. All this is there. But what is actually the deep dive problem which we need to look over here is that though the government is doing Beti Padhao, trying to create a talent pool from the beginning, step number one, trying to send them to school and try to send them for higher education, giving them more. So definitely the percentage has increased over there, but still we are not able to see more women in workplace. The reason for that is the mindset. If you can see, the mindset is something which we need to change over here. So in this mindset, what we have come to an understanding is the patriarchal society. The problems which we are over here is to overcome this problem needs to be overcome is the mindset of patriarchal society, conditioning of people. In that conditioning, we are having about the storytelling narrative, which I'm talking about here. What is this? Here I'm looking storytelling narrative as a problem. Why it's a problem? Because from the time the child is born at home, there is this, I don't know, I want to just call it as this goal roti concept. Like, come what may, you need to know how to make the roti. Come what may, you need to take care of the house. Come what may, you need to be adaptable. These are the various stories telling, that how Sita was, adaptive and how this was there. So all these stories, the grandmother stories are there, which are not allowing the girl child to think more freely. And the social cognition which is there, okay, at this age I need to get my daughter married, at this age the daughter needs to marry, the mother-in-law stories, the daughter-in-law stories. So all these are something which is there. So with that we are coming with so we have come to this thing, that conditioning of the mindset of the patriarchal society, do not get confidence to break the ice ceiling. So they lack the confidence to break the ice ceiling. We are finding a lot of women in the research, so that there are a lot of women in in lower and middle level management, but not in the top level management. So what is that? Why are we not able to break the ice ceiling? What is that they need to learn from the social cognition? The mindset is fixed due to narratives and poor emotional quotient. So these are the problems identified over here. And I think that is the end of it. And now we are in the next thing, we are going to look at ideation, that what are the steps we are taking to change them. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Danish, if you are there, we will take yours. Otherwise, we'll go to the other person, whoever is available. Yeah, Mr. Dr. Raghavendra. Dr. Raghavendra, quick. You're there. No. Then. Okay, Dr. Danish, mic is not working. How about Mr. Mahavir Bhattacharya? Okay, if Dr. Raghavendra is not there and Mr. Mahavir is not there, let's go to Mr. Sunil Kapadia. Dr. Sunil Kapadia.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you to Dr. Bhaskar Rao, Mr. Shantan Mukherjee, and the ICFAI and the entire ATAL team, for providing this opportunity. Well, of course, I have identified a problem, but it is both. It is defining and identifying. It's like optimizing and maximizing returns on investment generally looked for by most of the clients whenever they come for consideration to planner. So, and in doing so, our one of the aspect is to give them a suggestion for the asset allocation according to the needs, goals, and profile having understood. Now, for this system analysis, it was my mistake that I could not send you the sheet separately. Anyway, I can just read from my sheet at least.
Is this a sheet you are talking about?
No. Afterwards, I've sent you about only 1 hour ago, separate sheet. Email.
Okay. Maybe it's not. No, it's not there. No.
So for yeah, slightly. Can you just okay, for the system analysis, I have used our DMAT approach: define, measure, analysis, improve, and control. Wherein defined stage, planner looks for the family financial goals, particularly non-negotiable goals, and also make them aware of the realistic kind of expectation from the investment. While analyzing the situation of the each family, life stage, lifestyle, net income, any liabilities, what are the things they make, what is their understanding of risk, what appetite of risk they have, and also whether they have adequate cover in terms of life cover, health cover, or house cover. These are the things they are being analyzed. And what normally we recommend them to have a disciplined approach, and rebalancing of the portfolio could be done on a regular basis. It could be 1 year, depending on client's need, or sometime in market kind of crisis. So these are the things we take into consideration as far as our system tools are concerned, and this is the approach usually also used for the Six Sigma kind of model. Yeah, next please, sir. So interaction matrix, client and planner, they are the basically super system, and rest of the things are subsystem. So I have defined plus and minus. I have kept the signing. We can go into deep diving, sir. So here, after having initial discussion between both customer and planner, and after having agreed to avail the service of planner, customers then finally allocates his or her savings. So these are the money to be invested on the behalf of customer. So as I said, initial agreement has already been made, and these are the standard products, by which asset can be, allocated into various products. It could be fixed rate instrument, it could be market related products, it could be real estate, or it could be gold. Depending upon each product category attributes, returns are being realized. So can you just scroll a bit? Yeah. So depending upon products attributes, returns are being realized for a portfolio as a whole for the each and every single family. Now, what are my learning? Now, if I have to through the deep dive, what are the learnings? Learning is, if planner talks likewise, in his group, it could be different planner, and 3 or 4 planner can construct a model by which set of customers goals, how they can club together, and a customized solution can be prepared through a model. So customer category could be conservative kind of investor. Usually, senior citizen, they don't want risk or volatility products. They want more certainty. There are people, they are in the age of 25, 30, 35. They understand market. They they have longer horizon. They can take volatility products. And there are people, they want to have both of the best. Kind of, we call it a moderate kind of. So 3 or 4 manner, or depending upon the feasibility, they can they need to go through various client profile and can construct kind of a algorithm model, solution based for a different kind of family. So this is a learning for me from this deep diving Viva. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. John Methuselah said he wants to present an extempore for maybe 3 minutes. Dr. John, if you are there. Dr. John? Is he there? Okay. I think he's not there maybe now. Dr. John? Okay. Fine. I think with that, formally we close the presentations for the day. Yes, Dr. John, if you are there, if you want to speak for about 3 minutes, it's okay. You can start immediately. Yeah.
Sir, good evening.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, I would like to tell the background. I've been the director of a school which is servicing 26 villages all around. So the challenges here are the problem of travel, because travel is affecting the fees, because the tuition fees is very less, but the travel fees is very high. So when we made an analysis, we found that the fees collected was going maximum to the buses. I mean, on the management front, we are spending more on the buses for the diesel or the brake or insurance and all that. And then the students are not able to pay so much of fees for travel because the tuition fees is much lesser than the travel fees. So that is actually barring them from choosing our school. So we thought of coming to a solution, and then because of sitting with you, I thought of certain things here because it has to be made affordable. I thought why not call the autos because stop the buses, sell them so that the institution gets back some money out of that, and then because there are a lot of autos there, why not talk to the auto guys and say you bring the students and you collect the fees. Uh, we don't have anything to do on servicing the buses or paying insurance and all that. So that way we will be reducing our burden on the school management. And on the other side, autos are much cheaper for the students. So the students will be able to travel in the autos because the villages are having winding roads, because I have traveled all through the villages there. So they have winding roads and very narrow roads going. The bus going there also, we found it as a problem. So the auto will be able to maneuver all labyrinth bends. So that's what I thought. So speaking to the auto wallahs would actually reduce the fees for the student, reduce the expenditure for the school, and it would not hamper, or in fact it would encourage the aspiring students who are willing to come and study in our school, which has good standards, to come and take the education. And the problem of time also will be saved, because autos will start from those areas, and from that village, if the auto starts, the travel time would get less. Otherwise, our bus will have to take 2 trips or 3 trips, and every trip costs more. So that travel time also will come down. Students can actually start late instead of starting very too early to come to the school for the first round and then wait for the second round. So the travel time will come down, the tuition fees will come down, and because there is no personal travel, we can in fact assure the student of security also, because in those rural areas, coming from those 26 villages to the school would actually kill their time, and the students who are very young can't ride bicycles. So we thought the autos would be a best option. So this is my brief presentation, sir. I don't know whether I am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, on that note, we will close the presentations. Wonderful effort by all of you in a very short time. You have come up with very nice preparations and the presentations. So I would now leave the floor to Mr. Sayantan to give us the debrief on what happened in this 1.5 hours of time.
Sure. Thank you, Professor Rao. I mean, really amazing to see. I personally feeling so good that the way you all have made these presentations in this short period of time, understanding and then executing over and above whatever you were working. So amazing. I mean, I hardly could say anything, because with this limited time, maybe if you would have spent a little more time, you could have done much better. I'm pretty sure you will do that. A few pointers. One of the very major thing that I was seeing when I was going through all your presentations is in your deep dive. Deep dive, in other way, is also called multi-why analysis. So one thing that was more or less common in quite a lot of presentations was that you are not looking for the whys. You are after the function model, you are trying to deep dive and analyze the various reasons why that's a problem. That's definitely you should be doing, but that is the first stage of multi-why. What you do in multi-why essentially is you first identify the problem from the function model. You picked up one, and then if you remember our FDP problem, we said that the students are not interacting with the professors, with the trainers. So what is happening is, that's the first line. It becomes the students don't interact with trainers in an online class. We wrote that, and then we said, what are the different reasons they don't? Some said that, you know what, they can't see each other, that's why they don't. Some said that, you know, they're not getting the feelings of the class, that's why they don't. And some other reasons. So first, in the first level, we just wrote the initial reasons that we come to our mind. Then we go to each of these reasons, and then we ask, why is that it is important for them to see others? Or any way you define that why. Why is it that seeing somebody helps them? Now you go deep dive each and each. Now once you are 2-3 levels down, you will find something very amazing. So just to give you how important the whole multi-why analysis is, I'll just give you one story. The story is, there is one guy who has gone to a shop to buy the drill bit, you know, the drill bit that goes into a drilling machine. So he's looking for the drill bit, and the shopkeeper is looking for the exact drill bit that he is looking for. So he was going inside and looking at his stock. Then there is another guy who comes and asks this guy that, okay, why are you looking for the drill bit? So he said that, you know, I have the drilling machine, but I am not finding the right drill bit. So he said, okay, fine, but why are you using the drilling machine? So he says that, you know, actually I have to make a hole in the wall. That's why I'm looking for the drilling machine. So this guy says that that sounds crazy, that you want to make holes on your wall just like that? He said, no, not just like that. Actually, I need to put some nails into the holes. That's why I'm looking for it. So, okay, you want to put nails all around your wall? No, actually, I want to hang a picture. And that's why I am looking for this drill bit. So he said, okay, so you just want to hang a picture. So why don't you use this sticky hanger that's available? You don't need to buy a drill bit. You don't need to damage your wall. You don't need anything. So the moment you know exactly what was the reason why he was looking for the drill bit, the whole scenario changed. That powerful is this multi-why analysis or deep dive, whatever we call it. So I would urge all of you, wherever you are stuck, your inner function model, when you identify the problem that you are trying to solve, do a deep dive asking why multiple times, till the time where you feel that this is going beyond your control. Till that time you keep on doing it, and you will be amazed to see that probably a very small change that you can come up with will be changing everything. Okay, so one point that I wanted to make over here. Okay, that's mostly the point. Otherwise, most of you had another thing that I want to I identified is few of you had this confusion, and that is when you say job to be done, it is not the job that you have to get to. You have to do. So most of a few of the presentations I saw, people are putting job to be done as what you are supposed to do. Job to be done is what your customer wants to get done using or hiring your product or service. So why is it so important? In design thinking methodology, you're keeping the customer at the center, right? If you know exactly what your customer wants to get done, then you can design the whole thing very efficiently. If you remember the example that we had of the milkshake, where Clayton Christensen was talking about why somebody is hiring the milkshake, that when he said the job to be done, it was not the job that McDonald's has to do to prepare that milkshake. It was the job, the user who was buying the milkshake, taking it into the vehicle, driving 1.5 hours and getting his stomach full, also staying alive while driving. This was the job that user wants to get done. And that's what, if you know that, you solve a lot of problems. So whoever has, quite a few have identified it rightly, you have put it right, but there were few people who could not, who made this mistake. So please ensure that this is taken care. One pointer for Mr. Padmanabhan. There you are talking about this slum dweller. I think that was your presentation, slum dweller stuff. So one thing is, because this is design thinking, you have to keep the customer at the center, and the moment you keep the customer at the center, your wish is going to be fulfilled. So if you wish that I want to sell this kind of affordable homes to slum dwellers, you have to understand them more well, rather than looking at that how can I change their mindset. Just imagine if today I am somebody who are making exotic places like say the Manna type of place, and I say that I want all of us in the FDP, they has to change the mindset that they don't need to live in what houses they live. They have to go in some exotic places. And that is going to be crazy. Like we will start thinking, why this guy wants me to stay in that house, right? So where from you have to come is try to understand whether they really aspire to move it, or it's the nano case, it's becoming more of that nano place. You just have to identify exactly where they can move themselves and why is the reason they will be living there where they stay to the one that you are providing. Then I think definitely you will be solving your problem.
Thank you for the insight.
No problem.
Yeah. Professor Chetana Krishna wants to ask a question. She has raised her hand.
Okay. Please, ma'am. I think Chetana ma'am has removed.
She is there. She raised her hand. Yeah.
Sir, I want to make it more interactive to my people because of the training program. I want it to be more interactive. So what do you suggest, where in deep dive or in the last part of it?
I actually wrote something for you, ma'am. So for you, yes, I found it. So for your presentation, what I realized that you have two major problems. Okay, one is the plantation in itself, because what you are trying to do, you are trying to improve the plantation process in itself, right? And that through your content, you are providing the knowledge that how they can do it. And that if that happens, if these people understand that through your module, they will be able to improve themselves where they are today to where they are going to go, right? And they will be more interested in your FDP, in your training program, right? So what you can do is you have to do two things. First, create a function model and follow the process one for how they can improve the process of plantation in itself. And whatever is you're learning from there, include that in your content, so that when they come, they get some value out of your training program.
Okay, I have designed that, sir. I have designed it accordingly. Okay. So I will send it to you. I'll send it to Bhaskar sir. Maybe he will forward it to you. And then if you give me suggestions, I can put it in my module design.
Absolutely, ma'am. That sounds very good.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am.
Any other questions from any other participants?
Sir, yes. I have a few things.
Observations. You have some more? Yeah, please go ahead.
So mainly I have jotted down a few individual ones. So for Neetu ma'am, there is one thing that in your function model, try to put more verbs into it, because when you put these verbs, it is going to help you later on to connect, and it will clarify a lot of things in your whole system, that okay, what is happening where. So
yes, sir. Actually, time was so less. I have to submit it. It was 11:58. So I was very sorry, sir. Because of that, I was not able to.
No problem at all. I understand a lot of you have put a lot of effort. I know. So make sure that that doesn't. I mean, it continues. So post this FDP also, please complete this. And
yes.
Yeah, that will be good.
This was a great learning from you, because this idea we haven't got, especially the interaction between system and subsystem. That was something which really has solved the problem in design.
Awesome, man. That's great. Neetu ma'am, one more thing for you is that there was one problem when you start off, that the problem that you stated and your last problem is becoming the same. And this is happening because the deep diving in between has to be done in the way that I was talking about, multi-why. Okay, so you just follow that. You will realize that you will see a magic happening suddenly. Okay, and then it will be very easy for you. Now you are stuck in a state where you are thinking that how you can hit instantly while on the go. Now, why it is not feasible right now with the existing system, you will realize when you do the multiply. Okay, ma'am. So all the best. You can, yeah, something great is coming out from there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I think most of it, for Manikandan sir, only one thing is you have already probably come up with your idea how you are going to do it, but only one suggestion for me is things will be much easier for you if you can just look into something which is an existing tool or machinery and try to improve that. So you said that you have seen so many, so you went out in the market, you found out one tool. If you just analyze that tool itself, that why is it bad today, what it is not able to do, it will be just a cakewalk for you to come up with a new innovative patentable model. You know, you're already there. So just a few steps left.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. And lastly for Swati ma'am, and there is one point is when you are defining your initial problem statement, you said that you want to understand why is there a why do we have less number of women? Just convert it into it's just a wording change. Convert it. How can we have more women? That way, it gives you a mindset change. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing more than that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it. That's it from my end, Professor Rao.
One sec, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Sunil wants to speak. Yeah.
Mr. Santan, would you like to say anything? Because actually we are on a thinking of how can we create a model, kind of a model, at least for three set of investors. We can put it into conservative, aggressive, and moderate. So of course this is a very small attempt, but what needs to be done? How what are the missings or how it can be improved?
Okay.
Or you can say it right now, or you can also give me feedback whenever it is.
Yeah. What I'll do, Dr. Sunil, is I'll have another look at your presentation because your topic is, something that I have not dealt with ever. So I need to understand a bit, and I'm very bad at it.
I understand. No issue.
Let me have another look. Then probably I'll have to talk to you a little more to understand a few things, and then we can plan on something.
Thank you. It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Sayantan. Yeah. Who's this?
This is Yashmi from Hyderabad.
Yes, ma'am.
Like a presentation was uploaded quite late because of some glitch. So is it fine to just go through once and give a feedback before we proceed? Because after sending, then when we have been interacting with each other, we have the whole issue. The context is the same, which is handicrafts and handloom and the concerns faced by them. But then we have redefined it from the perspective scenario and handloom and handicraft.
Ma'am, your voice was breaking a bit, but if I understood you correctly, you are looking for some sort of a feedback on exactly what you have submitted already. And based on that, if you need to make some changes, are you asking this?
Yes. Meanwhile, we have also done a little refinement and redefinement on the issue that we already had. But then if you can give your feedback, it would make more sense for us to proceed.
Okay, ma'am, I would suggest you do one thing. Anyways, you are submitting today's use combined. So keep the assignment one also so that whatever you have modified, whatever changes you have made, let me have a look at both. Then I will share you my feedback on that. Okay?
All right. So we'll submit it to Professor Rao.
Yes, fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Prabhat Daksh. Yeah. Mr. Prabhat, you want to say something?
Yeah, sir.
You're not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes. Now are audible, yeah.
Yeah, actually I couldn't submit my assignment on Google Drive, but I mailed you.
Yeah, I got it later. Yeah, true.
Yeah, but it was half actually, sir. I missed while Mukherjee sir was telling me, telling in the FDP what to do with the interaction matrix. I made till interaction matrix, but I was not knowing what to do with it further.
Okay, I think the best way is to look at the video which is
Okay.
available, and then maybe you will understand, because for Mr. Sayanthan to repeat all that will be difficult. But have a look at the video, sir. I think you will be able to get it, and if there's anything tomorrow's interaction, we can get the clarifications.
Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you.
Sir, this is Nagiran, sir.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Nakiran.
Sir, just regarding small doubts regarding design thinking, sir.
Yeah.
Can I ask, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, yeah, actually we have a subject like design thinking and product innovation, sir. We have both subject and lab in our curriculum, sir. Regarding that point of view, I need some few suggestions from your end, sir. Actually, my stream is mechanical stream, and in all the 5 units we have like different categories like electrical and electronic. What are the innovations that has been performed? I had downloaded all the textbooks and stuff also, sir. And I also conducted a empathy graphs. I conducted with the students, sir. I have got a great response from them, sir. They had like attached a posters on the displayed in all the classrooms, sir. I got good response from learning through this FDP, sir. One small doubt is that we have a lab like fluid sim software is there, sir. In that we can design the hydraulic circuits and simulate through that, sir. Regarding that point of view, I don't have any idea about that, sir. If you have any idea regarding that, please concern number or mail ID you give, sir. I will contact them, sir. Hello.
Yeah, you are referring to a specific software now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
if possible.
As far as no, for me personally, I do not have any knowledge about that. I don't know if Mr. Sayanthan has anything.
No, actually, from my end of, I don't know this software. Also, nobody who knows maybe.
Okay, sir. Syed, sir, one thing I will do, sir. I will contact you through WhatsApp, sir. So that if you have any guidance, please guide me, sir.
Sure.
Further, I will contact you, sir.
Sure. I'll try to guide you as much as possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity, sir.
Right, sir. Yeah, thank you. I think we have already crossed 7:30. We wanted to close this session at 7:30. It has been a wonderful evening with each one of you making the presentations. Kindly submit the second presentation before the deadline tonight. The guidelines are already there in the note, and we will have some similar process. We will shortlist some of them, and then tomorrow we will have. The idea is not to show something is good or something is not good. We wanted to cover a wide variety of topics and themes and different types of presentations, so that each one of you understand what has been learned in this last 12-13 sessions in terms of implementation. And this is the best way to deepen your learning, and whatever you have learned in the class, immediately you're putting into the practice. It is like the lab. What you learned in the class, you're putting it in the lab, practicing it in the lab, and that is how you're going to improve your learning, enhance your learning. And tomorrow is our last day. Tomorrow we'll have these presentations. We also have a test, which is a multiple choice question based test. And the program schedule is all available with you. So please bear with us for one more day. You will have a very, very highly enriching experience, including tomorrow's sessions. If you have anything to ask me, please let me know. Otherwise, we can sign off for the day.
Sir, how many questions and how much hours, sir?
Yeah, we are planning to have about 60 minutes of test and maybe 60 questions. So we have to do it as mandatory requirement of AICTE, so that is unavoidable.
It is 60 or 16?
The 60 and 60, 60 into 60 and 60 and 1 mark each.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, does assignment carry any mark?
No, see, assignment is not done by everybody. Therefore, how to give weightage to that. Part of the reason is because of lack of maybe time, maybe sometimes they have not been able to understand the concept. That is why the test is a uniform one for everyone.
Okay, sir.
That's
Sir,
a level
please send
playing.
the
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Dr. Sailesh.
Sir, just for our clarification, the PPT's slide deck you have shared, the test would be based on that only. Is that so?
Yeah, most likely I'll share all the PPTs either tonight or latest by early morning. So you will have all the PPTs with you, and most of those things will be from the content there. Yeah.
So that we can just run through it and go through it and take the test.
By and large, I think if you've been able to attend these classes, and I think most of you have been very, very active. The amount of interaction has been really awesome, and you should not have any problem in doing well. And the PPTs, most likely, I'll share them with you tonight itself. Maybe a little late, but then definitely they will reach you.
So test will be the last thing in that means last event.
Yeah, test, and then we have technically the ceremonial closing session.
Mandatory.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, kindly request you to extend the time for the quiz, sir. Maybe if there is internet issues, we will find it difficult to complete in 1 hour.
Oh, no. I am like any one of you. If I have a difficulty, I can expect similar difficulties with you. We will definitely deal with them if there's any problem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, feedback link for this session I have already given, but in any case, I will put it again in the chat box so that you can fill it before you leave. So make sure all of you have got your attendance sheet filled. Otherwise, if the attendance is not there, AICTE will not grant you the certificate. That is my worry. The feedback link has been shared again. So have a very, very nice session in the submission of